once again, it is me, your girl, or your woman, Kiki, with another video. I'm relaxing, I'm chillaxing in my PJs. You'll see me. Anyway, my name is Kiki. Who am I? I'm a mother. I own 3 Etsy businesses. I've been featured in Wall Street Journal. I've been on covers of Image Magazine and other women business magazines. I am an award-winning digital artist. I've been in galleries all over the country. And widow, mother, lover, fighter, ex-Jehovah's Witness, ex-pageant queen, and just some titles amongst many, but those are the ones that I can think of right now. And my channel is all about me just topping on. I have different topics of entertainments. I have vlogs. I have ex-witness, ex-Jehovah's Witness stuff, relationships, all kinds of stuff. I think the only thing you won't see on here is anything about no hair and makeup, because I don't do all that. So sorry if you came here looking for that. I ain't the one, because I buy my hair online and I just got some eyeliner and some lipstick on. Yeah, that's all I can do. That's all I got. I'm not a girly girl like that, despite what people think. I'm not that girl. What we are going to talk about a little bit today, I already did a video on being a black woman, dating while black, I guess you want to call it. Being a black woman dating online. And so we're going to kind of continue on to that and add to that, talking about vetting. If you don't know what vetting is just a fancy word of saying sifting people out, scrutinizing someone, testing someone. That's a term that people use about people vetting the person that they're with. So anyway, in other words, really figuring out who they're dealing with, whether they want to even put up with or date that person at all. That's a vetting process. So there's some people have different processes that they go through. Some people think that they have a good process. Some people don't have a process. Some people don't understand where they're going wrong in their own personal vetting process. They may be doing it wrong. They may think they're doing it right. So we're going to talk about all that. But first, let me address my previous video. I have a previous video on here that kind of made me mad because I have a previous video on here that is talking about black women in online dating. Some people in the comments obviously didn't read or didn't watch the video, didn't read the description, didn't read the title, because apparently some people got it misconstrued that I was talking about regular dating. I'm not talking about meeting a dude or woman at church or through your homeboy or at a grocery store, at a club, or at a bar, at a mixer. I'm not talking anything about dating, regular dating. Some people just obviously thought I was talking about black women dating. No. I'm talking about, my video was talking about online dating, period. And I'm going to leave the video here at the end of this video, so you'll go back and watch that video and see what I'm talking about. And read the comments, because obviously some people got it twisted. So yeah, I was just really talking about online dating. Number 2, in that video, I was talking about a book and studies that were made. I wasn't talking about my anecdotal opinions or really what I've experienced. I gave my anecdotal opinions. I gave my own personal experience. But the point of the video was talking about an actual book that I had put in a description that talked about dating algorithms and statistics about online dating apps. That's what I was talking about. There are other studies and things people have done regarding online dating, the demographics, the areas, the statistics. That's what I was talking about. I wasn't talking about just me or what I've gone through or not gone through. I was talking about actually a book that I had read 6-7 months ago. The book had came out, I think, a couple of years ago, that I'd never heard of. That I read about it on a blog and decided to read it, and then looked up and Googled other dating app statistics. Dating app statistics, not dating statistics, dating apps. My point was in the other video is saying that black women are at the bottom of the desirability list on dating apps. Not dating, period. Not attractiveness, not desirability, not dating ability, on dating apps only. So if you have no experience on dating apps or limited experience on dating apps, then that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about dating apps. I'm an OG dating app veteran. I'm OG. I've been on dating apps. So some people were like, well, black women are just as beautiful as other women. It's not about beauty. I'm just talking about what goes on in the algorithms and dating apps and how the algorithms are not conducive for certain groups and certain races of people. And then also how they did surveys about these dating apps and how black women are coming, how their profiles are coming up in the searches or not coming up in the searches, or who their profiles are being shown to, about what type of women, when people really want to get down to the get down, when you go to a dating app, you can drill down and select, region, height, children and no children, smoking, non-smoking, all that. You can drill down, and some of them allow you to select race as well. Some of them don't, some of them do. And they were talking about how in the races of women, how black men and Asian men are at the bottom as well. It is what it is. People can sit there and say, well, that doesn't happen to me. That's your experience. Also, another thing I have to say, and I'm going to say this strongly, it depends on what region you're in. A lot of things that get left out in these videos and these blogs and these people writing things about dating, what gets left out that annoys me is region. If you live in New York, California, Florida, if you live in these high populated areas where it's a mixture of different races and different cultures and different people, your results may vary. I tell people, your results may vary. There are people online who have strictly YouTube channels about online dating and blogs about online dating. But again, some of these people are in LA. Some of these people are in New York. Some of these people are in Chicago. Some of these people are in Detroit. Some of these people are in Miami. If you're going to be in areas where there's a bunch of mixed race people, a lot of interracial dating, a lot of situations like that, then your results are going to be different. It is what it is. You can't take someone from Jackson, Mississippi and compare their results to someone in New York City. The demographics are different. It is different. If you're an Asian man, you're going to have more success dating someone in California than you are probably dating somebody in Houston, Texas. It is what it is. It depends on what you're looking for, the area that you're in, your age, what you look like, your attractiveness. There's a bunch of factors that go into online dating. Let me repeat, online dating. Not real dating, not real life dating, online dating. Because there's algorithms and things that these websites do to try to get you to stay on their websites. So, yes, if you live in an area where it's predominantly white and you're looking for somebody who is black, then you're probably going to have a harder time finding profiles of black males or females because you're in a predominantly white suburb. Unless you go outside of your area. Sometimes you have to go really, really far outside of your area. The variables are just there and where you stay. I mean, and people don't want to hear that. People just think that somebody can write a blog or do a YouTube video and tell you, oh, I had success and I did this and I did that and I did this. And you're like, oh, I'm going to be like her. Well, I'm more attractive than her. I look better than her. I got things going on better than her. My personality is maybe better than her. When it comes to online dating, that has less to do with it. Nobody can know what your personality is by looking at your like a profile and they're swiping left and swiping right. 9 times out of 10, they're not even reading your profile, honey. They're not. They're just looking at what you look like. Then they may go back and read it after they match with you, or you may get to knowing them and tell them stuff like that. What I'm saying is, when it comes to these algorithms on these dating apps, when I was on dating apps years ago, the issue is that I wasn't getting any matches. People put in comments on my other video like, oh, well, maybe it was your personality and maybe it was the vibe you gave off. How can I give off a vibe to nobody? To have somebody reject you based on personality, that's one thing. But to not have barely any matches, that's something a little bit different. Like, in order for someone to reject you and the things that people are saying about, well, maybe it's just you and your personality, I didn't even get that far. I didn't get that far. I had no matches. I had no one to talk to. I had no one to meet up in person on a date. I wasn't getting any matches at all. I wasn't getting likes. I wasn't getting any matches. So you talk about personality and vibe through what? What they read my profile. I had a normal. I've had other people read my profile. It was a nice, normal, simple profile. It wasn't anything crazy. I even tried to dumb down my profile a little bit 3 or 4 years ago. Try to take certain things out and move certain things around. Changed it a few times. Added different types of pictures. Switched it up a little bit. I did not get that many matches. I just didn't. I didn't. And then the matches that I did have, the guys wouldn't respond. They didn't respond. A lot of guys, the ones that did respond, will message back and forth a little bit. And then after a day or two, that was it. Once they started asking me about myself and what I did and what I didn't do and stuff like that, then I got a sense that they're like, oh, okay, you got your shit together. I'm like, yeah. And then it was like, oh, okay. I kind of got a sense, But again, these are messaging back and forth. This is not me on the phone talking to the dude. This is not me meeting the dude and going on a date with them, and then they just ghost me. That's a whole different issue. The point is, like, there was no ghosting. There was no matching. There was nothing. So, yeah, how can you have a chance to anybody to reject you when they're not selecting you in the first place? So that was my issue about black women and dating. Well, I thought it was just me. I was like, well, maybe I'm not pretty enough. Maybe my profile, I've tweaked it and changed it over and over again. And I realized that a lot of black women out there now researching realize that they are thinking like me, going, is my profile not good enough? Am I not attractive enough? Why aren't people talking to me? Why isn't people selecting me? And then when you have white friends who are on these same dating apps and they're like, oh, I've talked to this dude and this dude and this dude and I've gone on this date and this date and this date. And you're like, well, damn, what's my problem? And then you're like, okay, well, why are you getting so many matches and so many likes? And then here I am just sitting here with crickets. So that was my issue. Again, online dating. I'm not saying black women are less desirable, less attractive. Why would I say that? I'm not stupid. I'm just saying that was my personal experience, and I thought it was just me. I was doing something wrong, but then I realized after reading that these algorithms on these dating apps are not conducive to black women. A lot of times they don't show your profile to a lot of people. If people are not selecting that they looking for a black female, they won't show your profile. And then a lot of times they surveyed people. A lot of times the black males are looking for a white woman. I'm not throwing no shade. Hey, that's their preference. A lot of white dudes where I'm from don't date black women. I mean, I'm in Texas. I'm in the South. I'm in a southern suburb. I'm in a white southern upper class suburb. You don't see a lot of interracial couples, whether it be black males and white women, or black males and Latinas. You sure in the hell don't see all across Dallas-Fort Worth area. You don't see a lot of black women with white men out here. So I warn women that these women online talking about divest and interracially dating, that may work for you in your city, but I mean, it may be harder for you to do in your city or your area, just because of the fact of traditional values, cultures, whatever it may be. So a lot of people out there are looking for options or looking for answers and telling people what they should and shouldn't do or giving advice, but a lot of people are still struggling to find somebody to be with, no matter what your preference is, or whether you're trying to find somebody, you just want to find somebody that just appreciates you and likes you, and you may not care what race that person is. But then if you're up against an area that is very racially divided, then you got to know what you're up against. So forewarned and forearmed is always great, especially when it comes to online dating. So that was my point in my last video. This video, we're going to talk about vetting and what it means to vet. Now, a lot of women I know online, I didn't know this. I don't get on relationship guru sites or YouTubers. I don't know I'm not going to name these people because I don't know what these people do or who these people are. They belong to whole podcasts and whole panels and groups. This is stuff that I just realized literally 2-3 weeks ago, that these subgroups and subsets of men and women, a lot of black men, a lot of black women, white men too. Not so many white women. I don't think white women really care that much. White women, I don't see them really caring that much about what white men think about what they do. I don't see a lot of that. But I see a lot of black women caring about these so-called relationship gurus who are males, and they're giving women advice and giving men advice. And some of the stuff that I've heard, a little bit that I've heard, is laughable. Like some of the stuff I'm just like, that doesn't apply to me. That doesn't apply to me. I date younger dudes. I don't date men my age at all. I'm not looking, I've never dated anyone my age. I've always dated guys who are at least 6 or 7, 8. My late husband was 9 years younger than me. I've always dated younger. Um, I've never dated a rich man. I've never gone out of my way to be like, ooh, I need to find me a man that's making all this money, and he need to be making at the house like 100K and 200K a year. I make good money. I don't require. I date blue collar guys. I like blue collar guys. Blue collar guys make good money. There's nothing wrong. I don't know who these women that they're talking about. They're out here like, ooh, you can be a successful woman. I don't know. 3 years ago, I wasn't looking for a scrub. Like, I don't want no dude that can't support himself, that don't take care of his bills, that don't have a car. Nobody wants somebody who's trying to ask me for money. I ain't never had no dude that ask me for no money. I ain't never had no dude try to hit me up and try to get me to pay his bills and nothing like that. I don't date men like that. And I'm stingy. I'm not giving no man my money. I'm not giving no man no money. Period. I don't care. Like, I mean, not unless it's a dire emergency, a life or death situation. But other than that, I ain't trying to get no dude no money. You lost your mind. Like, I'm not here to take care of a grown-ass man. But on the other hand, I'm not materialistic. I don't require a dude to pay for me or my kids. And I got that. My kids don't need a stepdaddy. My kids, they good. We good here. And I make my own money, do my own thing. I've been financially independent since I was 18 years old. I've never been a greedy gold digger. I don't care about designer things. My wig costs like $40. Like, I don't get my nails done, but I make good money. I don't have a fancy car, but I have money in the bank. If I want to go rent out a mansion during Christmas, which I will, we'll rent out a mansion. I can do that. Why? Because I don't need red bottoms and in a Birkin bag, and I don't do all that. I'm very unassuming when I leave the house. You wouldn't even recognize me. I ain't got no makeup on, hair gone. Like, you wouldn't even recognize me. I do all this just for y'all, just for the camera, just for y'all. But I'm a very humble, low-key, low-maintenance, tomboy kind of chick. Like, I've been like this all my life. And it has served me well in a lot of aspects. In some ways it hasn't, because I'm very low maintenance. But with that said, we're talking about, women vetting, and when it comes to finding a man, and let me tell you, I've dated a lot. There are people out there giving romance advice who may be married, but they haven't dated a lot of people, who may be single. They've been single a long time, and you're giving dating advice. So I tell people, when people are giving you advice, they need to be candid about their living situation and their dating situation before you listen to their advice. There are people out there giving advice that have been divorced for 10 years. There are people out there giving advice they haven't taken care of their kids. There are people out there giving advice telling you to go left, and they're going right. There's people out there telling you need to date this kind of man, that kind of man, this kind of man, and they don't even have a man. They haven't had a man in a long time. Or they just got out of a damn divorce. Or you may not even know their living situation, their relationship situation, because all they're doing is talking about what you should and shouldn't do. But you never know if they got a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a husband or a wife or a spouse or a jump off, kids. So many people, you don't know anything about their lives. They present a certain image with a certain background, and they wear certain clothes, and they look a certain way, and they talk a certain way. But behind closed doors, you don't know how this person is living. You don't know what this person is doing. That man could be like whooping their ass every day. You don't know what, or they might not even have a man. They may got a girl. They may not even be straight. They may be gay. So I tell people, just be forewarned about people who are telling you about relationships, and they are not trying to give you not any kind of examples of people that they've dated. You never hear nothing. I say, people, well, what about, who are they dating? Are they married? Oh, we really don't know. Are they seeing anybody? Oh, we really don't know. Okay, so you're taking relationship advice from somebody that and you don't even know what's going on in their life. They not online talking about, you ain't got to give names and give details, but if I'm going to come on here and give y'all some relationship advice, I'm going to give y'all examples. I'll be like, this happened with this dude, this time, and this is what happened. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be candid and honest because I'm not giving advice to people like I know everything and then my whole dating life is just it just non-existent or messed up. Like, I'm going to let people know this is what happened to me, this is what I've experienced, what I've seen. So, you know, I just think it's odd that people are telling people what to do, but you don't know anything about what their dating situation is. That's just weird. It's bizarre to me that people would even follow that. And it's but I can understand people in their 20s, but you have like people in their 30s, 40s, 50s following these people, and I'm like, these people out here, they're making money off of YouTube videos and podcasts. They're making money off of you, like they're making money off of being antagonistic. They're making money and they're clickbaiting and clout chasing off of you. You are their business. So like they're making money on whether you react to a certain video or not and how many views they get. That's how they getting paid. They hustling you. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't really care really. Some of them may do, but I mean some of them it's like they don't really care. They're not trying to be honest with you and candid with you. They just want to present a certain image to you, and they're selling an image and selling a brand, and the brand and the image is themselves. You understand? So I just hate to see people just having whole divisions in the black community over people who don't have no they don't have they're not a psychologist or not a matchmaker, professional matchmaker. So people follow. I don't understand people so desperate for somebody to follow. I don't understand that. I'm old enough. I'm 45 years old. I've had enough experience in my relationships to understand. So when we talk about I'm diverting. When we talk about the vetting process, the first thing before you vet anybody, I think where people get messed up is you need to figure out what you want in a relationship. You need to figure out what you want in a mate. You can't vet anybody. You can't eliminate people or add people or put people in the maybe pile or put people in the friend zone or not friend zone or I want to date you if you don't know what you want. I hear so many people, men and women, who are like, well, I want a girl like this. I want her to cook and clean, but I don't want her to work. But then I want her to be independent, but I don't want to take care of her, but I want her to have her own stuff. Okay, well, which one? I mean, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. Or women who are like, well, I want a man that has this, this, and this, and this, and this. Okay, but what things don't you like? Well, I like this, and I like this, and I like that. But they're not telling anybody. They're not figuring out in their mind what are deal breakers. These are red flags. So I tell people they need to make what helps me out. It used to help me out when I was heavy in the dating game. I would make lists. These are the qualities I want in a man. These are the qualities I don't want in a man. These are things that I could possibly compromise. These are deal breakers. When you start making lists of things you want, you kind of get a physical representation of what you're looking for in a mate. You have to know yourself first. You have to know your limitations. You have to know what you can and cannot do. You can and cannot tolerate. Everybody is different. What I can put up with is different than what you can put up with, or your sister, or your best friend, or your uncle, or your aunt, or whatever. Whoever's trying to give you advice, they may be able to deal with certain situations and you can't. So, but you have to know yourself first. That's the first step. You can't vet anybody if you don't know what you want in a relationship. And then you have to be able to determine what things you can walk away from and what things you cannot walk with, that you are willing to compromise or not. And so you have to go down there. And then another thing, you have to determine what are your goals as a person besides our relationship goals. People talk about relationship goals, hashtag relationship goals. You need to determine what your life goals are going to be. In 5 years, I'm going to be here. In 10 years, I want to be here. In 20 years, I want to be there. And then determine what you want to do, with your own life. And then whether that your life goals is going to be something that you would think a partner would be able to deal with. Some people have these lofty life goals where they want in 5 years, they want to move to Africa, they want to move to Milan, and they want to do, okay, but what if you get in a relationship and this person don't want to move to Africa or Milan, and they don't want, and then you have such a high-powered career that you barely even see your mate, and I want this kind of career, and I want a jet set, and I want to do this, and I want to work here and do that. Okay, well, how much time is that going to take you? So do you think you're ready to have a relationship right now? When you're going to be working, you want to be a nurse, you want to be a doctor, that takes a lot of hours. You want to be a lawyer, that takes a lot of hours to get your foot in the door. So do you want to start a relationship? It might not be the right time for you. So you have to learn to be honest with yourself as well. So be honest with yourself. Is it the right time for you to have a relationship? Some people are just not ready, and that's okay. You don't have to, don't feel like you're pressured to do anything because your friends are all getting married, or your mom and your dad are like, when are you going to get somebody? When are you going to get somebody? Don't listen. Don't do that. Just be comfortable in who you are, and the rest will fall into place. And then when you're ready, and you see yourself in life ready, and you feel like you're settled down, then you're ready. Then you're ready to find somebody. But sometimes people are just not ready, and then they try to force the issue. Then they end up in a situation where it's like, now, oops, I'm pregnant, or oops, we live together, and now I feel like I got to put my career on hold because we live together, and he's not ready to move, or she's not ready to move, or oops, like I'm in debt now because I've lived with this person, we broke up, and then now I'm in credit card debt, or I'm stuck in this lease, and now I can't do anything. People end up in a lot of oops situations, all because they got in a relationship when they shouldn't have, wasn't the right time. So, but if you have to determine it is the right time and your life is pretty settled and you got, you got like, I got a life plan. It's what I want to do. And what I want to do, it is very doable. It's very partner friendly. So, and then you have to determine whether do you want to get married? Do you not want to get married? Do you want to live with somebody first? That factors into it as well. Are you open to live with somebody and not being married? Some people, most people are, some people aren't. So you have to determine what is the ideal situation for you when it comes to having a partner. Are you looking for marriage? Are you not looking for marriage? And I tell people not everybody wants to look for marriage. I've been married. I'm widowed. Do I want to get married? No. Marriage is really not for me. Like, it's not for me. I have young children. So I'm not into the whole, institute of marriage. It would take somebody really having to convince me that would be the positive thing for me and for my children. My focus has always been my children. But some people, their focus isn't really their children. Their children, they want to have a partner, and their kids, they go hand in hand with them. To me, it's separate. But that's me. That's me. To me, my kids have always been my top priority. I don't mingle my relationships in with my children. I have a situation where I don't have to, which makes it different than most single parents out there. I thank the universe every day that I have options and flexibility with my dating, that I don't have to worry about my kids. I have other options and places to go and things to do, to where I don't really have to involve my kids in a relationship, because I don't want them to get attached to somebody. I don't want them to get hurt. My kids we have experienced a lot of hurt. We've experienced a lot of hurt when my husband passed away. So it's something that I don't want to put myself through, really honestly, and it's something I don't want to put my kids through, honestly, and it's not for me. So, and people, and I tell people that's okay. Marriage isn't for everybody. People try to pretend like it is, and it's not. So that's okay. So that's part of the vetting process. So part of the vetting process is recap. It's determining what you want. Is your life goal or life plans the next 5-10 years? Is it partner friendly? You have to determine what kind of relationship do you want. Do you want to live with somebody? Do you want to get married? Do you want to not want to live with somebody first? Those are things. So those are the 4 things we talked about that you have to decide. Once you figured all that out, then you can start making your lists and determining what things are red flags, what things you can compromise on, what things you cannot compromise on. And when you make these lists, don't even if it sounds absurd when you read it, or somebody else may read it and be like, "Oh, girl, that's crazy," or "That's too nitpicky," or "That's too shallow." It's your life. Don't let other people try to tell you what kind of person you should be. But let me tell you something. I have dated men who, on paper, when I say on paper, I mean the things that they got going on in their life was great. I dated guys who were in the military, who had a house, 2 cars, great job, military benefits, was a nice guy, was a kind guy, didn't have any kids, was looking to get a wife, all fairly attractive, all of that. And that man was not for me. He was not for me. His personality was not like mine. His vibe was not like mine. We didn't argue, we didn't clash or anything. He was just not for me. There's some woman out there that will be great, that will be a blessed woman maybe to have this man. But just because he had all these things going on for him, yes, that was all good. Yes, he was a grown man, he was responsible. But he just, his personality and I were just, we didn't clash, we were just not compatible. Like, and then thank God, I didn't waste years. It wasn't that long with this dude. But I realized what it was, and I got out. And then sometimes you have to realize it is what it is, and then you have to just let it go and move on. Because sometimes, people they have everything that you would think that people are saying that you should have, but then it's just the personality's not there, the chemistry, the temperament's not there, and they're a good person, you're a good person, but it's not meant to be. So sometimes you have to learn to just walk away from those situations, even though your family and friends may be like, "Oh my God, girl, you crazy. He got all this stuff. Oh my God, he loves you." Da, 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 da. I've been there. I couldn't do it. I'm not gonna string somebody along when I know that I wasn't, in my heart of hearts, wasn't feeling it. So that's another issue. So know when to say when. Don't be embarrassed or ashamed to like what you like or don't like what you like. Don't let other people try to tell you you're wrong or you're being nitpicky or selfish or shallow or you're never gonna find anyone like that. Okay, because if you don't find anyone like that and you can't find what you want, then you just still stay single and move on. You just get to learn to be like, okay, I'm just gonna regroup and come back at it later. Or maybe I need to, find somebody else and move on. So that's all part of the vetting process. Another part of the vetting process is doing background checks. That's the other part of the vetting process. Name, date of birth. So for your full name, date of birth, that's all you really need to do a quick, simple, cheap, costs like $2-3, some places $5 to do a background check. It depends on how extensive you want to be. Some of these background checks have it to where you can look up the person's social media, and then some people are like, "Oh my God, that's crazy," and blah blah blah. No, it's not. It's not crazy. I've done it for every man that I've dated. If I'm dating someone on a steady basis, then I want to know what I'm dealing with, because you want to know who you're dealing with, especially if you're a single parent. You want to know who you're dealing with or what you're dealing with. People out there who consider it too evasive and all that, don't listen to those people. You have to learn to protect yourself and protect your family, especially if you're dating somebody, you plan to bring that person around your family and your kids. You have to know. I don't want any surprises. I don't want any surprise criminal records. Oh, well, I was in prison for 10 years, but that was 20 years ago, and then you just find out, because people should be honest in who they are. When you're dating people, whether it be online dating or real life dating or whatever, these days in 2021, there are people out there to mislead you. Male or female, black, white, Hispanic, no matter who they are. There are people out there who got whole wives out there, got whole damn kids in another country somewhere. There are people out there, whole wives and kids and family and husbands in this country. There are people out there that have prison sentences for all kinds of things. For abuse, domestic violence, alcoholism. There's people out there that are drug use is rampant. There are people out there that's just doing a lot of stuff. I know one lady that when she was getting serious, she had him do a drug test. People like, that's crazy. Well, I mean, she look, because she had a bad experience dealing with somebody who was heavily hooked on drugs. So, she had 3 experiences I could think of this lady. She had dated 3 dudes who were heavily hooked on drugs and stole from her, took her credit cards, stole her identity, gave it to another chick. I mean, she went through it. So every dude she dates, she'd be like, "I need you to take a drug test. If you're going to be around me and my kids on a permanent basis, I need you to pee in this cup." I know it sounds crazy, but she's like, "I've had dudes steal from me, did all this stuff." She explained to dudes what's going on. And if a dude is saying, "No, I'm not doing that, no, I'm not doing that," then she just like, okay, chalk it up to the game and move on. Because if somebody really wants to be with you and they hear what you've gone through, then they would be like, okay, I want to soothe this person's fears, and they're not hiding anything. I don't have any problems. I wouldn't have no problem taking no drug test for no dude. Like, I don't do drugs, so I don't have that issue. And then if somebody do smoke weed a little something like that, then they should be able to be honest and tell that person what they're doing. But, everybody has their own tolerance levels. But yes, I would suggest to do background checks on page. You ain't got to tell the person you're doing a background check. I've done background checks on every dude I'm with, and then not delve, if they come and ask me, I'll be honest, because I'm honest, and be like, yes, I did. But most of the time, they don't even ask. But you need to know what you're dealing with. Because if you see things and they come back with a whole criminal record, or they were divorced, then there's some things that you need to address. So yeah, that's another thing. Criminal background check. So that's all part 2 of the vetting process. Also, another thing I would suggest, the other thing on the list, is that I see with women, I don't know about men, I'm not a man, but I see with women is that women fall too quick in like with dudes. They fall way too quick in like. Like they meet some dude, and the next thing you know, after the 3rd day, the dude is over their house. The dude is meeting their kids. The dude, you know what I'm saying? The dude is at the apartment. I'm like, okay, what date is this? Oh, this our third, this our second date, this our third date, this our fourth date. Let me tell you something. I didn't date dudes for months, and the dude didn't know my address, didn't know where I stay. I got exes out there who don't they know what city I stay in. They don't know my address. They ain't never in my house. They ain't been. Let me repeat that again for the people in the back who didn't hear me. I got exes out there that I dated for months and months and months, 9 months, 6 months, 7 months. They don't know where I stay. They don't know my address. I don't know you like that. I got kids. I don't know you like that. They ain't never been to my house. I've been to their apartment. I've been to their house. They ain't never been to my house. I didn't invite them over for what? I got kids here. Ain't no dude coming. I ain't had no dude all over my house like that. Like I don't even know you. 6 months, 4 months, 3 months, second, third date, and people invite you. Dude, already know where you stay. No ma'am. That like no ma'am. Like especially these young women out here. No ma'am. Like you need to watch some of these documentaries on YouTube where women tell about how they been assaulted by dudes on Tinder, that they didn't went over their house, or they didn't went in their house, or they didn't got in the car. I tell people right now, I date people. I've dated dudes before, in the past when I was dating. I wouldn't get in the car with them. I wouldn't have no dude get in the car with me, and I wouldn't get in the car with no dude unless I knew him like at least 2-3 months. Why? Because I have to protect me. They may feel some type of way. They may get salty. They may say something. But you know what? At the end of the day, I got me. My kids got me. That's it. They got me. I got responsibilities. So it's like I need to make a safe home for my kids. And dudes will be like, "Well, I'm not a creep, or I'm not a killer, or I'm not some rapist or something." Okay, but I don't know that though. So because I don't know that, how I'm just supposed to take your word for it? Because what does every creep say? What they say is a creep gonna tell you they're a creep? No, they're gonna be like, no, I'm cool. I ain't like that. I don't know you enough. I don't know who your people is. I don't know anything. I thought I saw a mosquito, y'all. Something bite me, y'all. But anyway, like I was saying, I don't know you enough to be like whether you're a creep or not. It's nothing personal, but it's just that you have to protect yourself. So I tell women, stop falling in love with these dudes. Stop inviting these dudes over your house after the first date, the second date, the third date. You know them for a week. They already babysitting your kid, sleeping on your couch, eating all your kids' damn fruit snacks. Like, stop it. There's so many women out there like, oh, I was dating this dude, and then I didn't know he was so terrible, and he turned out to be an abuser, and he turned out to be this and this. Okay, sis, how long were you dating him? Oh, we were dating like 4 months. 4 months is nothing. 6 months is nothing. Yes, there are situations out there where men have deceived women big time. Where, I mean, they didn't had a whole situation going on, and you didn't dated them for a year or two. But to be honest with you, a lot of times there's red flags. So that brings us to the next part. Stop ignoring red flags. I know so many women that just ignore things, thinking that either the dude will change, or thinking that they're being silly, or maybe I'm being too nitpicky, or maybe I'm not understanding him, or maybe it's my time of the month and I'm just emotional, or maybe it's his time of the month, he's emotional. I've heard all kinds of excuses, things that I've done before, things that I'm telling you, your girl Kiki has done it before. There are people I've dated that have had huge, huge red flags. I know that this person is not right. I know this person, something is just going on, and you know it in your spirit, you know it in your heart. And then 2 and 2 is not equaling 4. Like, shit is not adding up. But women, as women, we just sit there and be like, well, maybe he's doing this, and we make excuses. Stop making excuses for people and just listen to what a lot of times, sometimes your friends are right. Listen to your own mind. Use your logic and try to get out of your emotional mind. And a lot of times people just, I'm blurry. Hello. Okay, we back. A lot of times people are so desperate just to have somebody that they make these excuses. So part of the vetting process is giving is time. Time. 6 months is not long enough to know nobody. I don't care what anybody tell you. I don't care what these people online is telling you. 6 months, no. 9 months, then the person, a lot of times, their real personality will start showing. And don't ignore things in their personalities. I done dated dudes where they start out a little grumpy, then they have an attitude, then it turns 9 months later, they full on got a damn anger problem. They been had an anger problem, but they were just trying to hide it. And I didn't look at the signs. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I was trying to be like, well, maybe that's just his personality. Like, yeah, I've done that too. I've done all of these things. But I've learned over the years that, from other women and things that I've seen with my friends and anecdotal things that I've seen with people that, you just have to be, you have to date smarter, not harder. I know that sounds cliche, but it's true. And so, yeah, those are some of my points about how to vet people. I didn't want to be too long, and now this video is like, 40 minutes. But, I just thought I'd try to help women out there and get them to see that these are just some of the things that you can do. I mean, there's other things. I'll do another video about other things you can do. But those are the things that have worked for me in the past. But I said at all times, you have to protect yourself. You have to protect your emotional, your physical, especially if you're a single mother. You got to think of more than just about what's between your legs and how you feel in your heart, and you feel like he's a good guy. No, I need to know that you a good guy. I don't need to feel like you a good guy, because feelings can betray you, and your feelings will betray you. But yeah, and you can't catch all of them. There's going to be some real slick jokers out there. You can't catch all of them. But I promise you, if you stop and pay attention to not just what a man says, but what a man does. If he's disappearing and he shows up, oh, sorry, babe, this happened and that happened, I couldn't call you, da-da-da-da. Or, no, you can't, we got to meet at this time, and it's always at night, and you never go out during the day. And just common sense things are telling you that there's something wrong. So, ladies, protect yourself. Like, share, subscribe this video. Comment below if you agree, disagree, you have stories. There's other things, tips that you would like to give people or give anybody out there who's watching this video, then that's cool. But this is Kiki, and I'm out. Y'all be safe out there in these streets. Bye.